Let's walk on the wise path.
Welcome to our enlightening journey into the teachings of the Buddha, a timeless guide on how to deal with suffering in life. In a world where turmoil and tribulation often seem to rule, the wisdom of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, offers us profound insights on understanding and alleviating suffering. Today, we delve deep into the heart of Buddhism, exploring the Four Noble Truths, the Three Poisons, and the Middle Way. Join us as we unravel the profound teachings of the Enlightened One, paving a path to inner peace and lasting happiness. 1. The Four Noble Truths. The essence of Buddha's wisdom can be distilled into the Four Noble Truths, a foundational framework for understanding and transcending suffering. Dukkha, suffering, it all begins with dukkha, the first noble truth. Buddha proclaimed that suffering is an inescapable aspect of life itself. From the physical pain of illness to the emotional turmoil of loss, suffering touches us all. But it's essential to realize that suffering encompasses not only major tragedies, but also the daily tribulations we often overlook. Samudaya, cause of suffering, the second noble truth, Samudaya, eliminates the cause of suffering. It is not external events, but our inner state that fuels our misery. The three poisons, craving, aversion, and ignorance, are the driving forces behind our suffering. Nirodha, cessation of suffering. Fortunately, the third noble truth, Nirodha, offers a ray of hope. It reveals that the cessation of suffering is indeed possible. By untangling the web of cravings that ensnare us, we can find true liberation from suffering. Magga, path to cessation. The fourth noble truth, Magga, shows us the path to end suffering, the middle way. It's not a journey of extremes, but a balanced, moderate approach to life. We'll explore the Eightfold Path, the guiding compass leading us towards inner peace and enlightenment. 2. Suffering is an inherent part of life. Buddha's profound wisdom invites us to contemplate the intricate tapestry of life, where suffering is an inherent thread woven into every existence. From the moment of birth to the inevitable embrace of death, suffering accompanies us on our life's journey. This is not a mere philosophical concept, but a fundamental truth that resonates with the human experience. Consider the birth of a child, a moment often celebrated as one of the greatest joys in life. In that very instant, as a new life emerges into the world, there is suffering, pain, struggle, and vulnerability. The baby cries, the mother endures the pangs of labor, and suffering becomes a shared experience. It's not a negation of the joy and wonder of birth, but a recognition that even in the most jubilant moments, suffering is intertwined. As we progress through life, we encounter various forms of suffering. Physical ailments, emotional turmoil, and the trials of existence are a testament to the inescapable nature of suffering. Even our moments of triumph are tinged with the awareness that they are fleeting, destined to evolve into new challenges or dissipate into the past. The Buddha's teachings invite us to embrace this truth, not as a pessimistic outlook on life, but as a profound recognition of reality. It is not an assertion that life is inherently negative or devoid of joy. Rather, it is a call to awaken to the full spectrum of human experience. By acknowledging suffering as an integral part of existence, we embark on a transformative journey. This recognition is not about resigning ourselves to despair, but about empowering ourselves with wisdom and resilience. Imagine a ship navigating the tumultuous waters of the ocean. To navigate effectively, the captain must acknowledge the presence of waves, storms, and unpredictable currents. This acknowledgement does not negate the ship's ability to sail. Instead, it equips the captain to make informed decisions, adjust the course, and ensure the safety of the crew and passengers. Similarly, acknowledging the presence of suffering in life empowers us to navigate our journey with greater skill and insight. In our pursuit of happiness, we often fixate on the illusion of an idealized existence, free from suffering. Society bombards us with images of perpetual bliss, reinforcing the notion that suffering is an aberration to be avoided at all costs. We are told that success, wealth, or possessions will shield us from life's trials. Yet the wisdom of the Buddha challenges this delusion. It reminds us that chasing an unattainable ideal only leads to disappointment and frustration. By embracing the reality of suffering, we liberate ourselves from the ceaseless pursuit of an illusory utopia. We no longer seek happiness in the denial of suffering, but in our capacity to respond to it with grace and wisdom. Suffering, in its myriad forms, becomes a catalyst for growth and transformation. It teaches us empathy, compassion, and resilience. It deepens our appreciation for moments of joy and allows us to savor life's beauty amidst its imperfection. The teachings of the Buddha offer a profound perspective on the nature of suffering in life. By recognizing suffering as an inherent part of our existence, we do not succumb to pessimism, but embrace a deeper understanding of reality. Through this recognition, we gain the wisdom to navigate life's challenges with resilience and grace. The journey towards happiness is not found in the absence of suffering, but in our capacity to transform suffering into a path to enlightenment and inner peace. In doing so, we embark on a voyage of self-discovery and profound liberation. Three poisons: craving, aversion, ignorance. To truly understand the essence of Buddhism and its teachings on suffering, we must explore the profound concept of the three poisons. These are the core elements that underlie much of human suffering, as illuminated by Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha. 1. Craving. At the forefront of these poisons is craving, a force so powerful and pervasive that it's often the driving factor behind our dissatisfaction and suffering. Craving manifests in various forms, each with its unique way of ensnaring us in the cycle of suffering. Craving for sensory pleasures. One facet of craving is the unquenchable desire for sensory pleasures. From the exquisite taste of a gourmet meal to the melodious notes of a captivating song, our senses constantly seek gratification. Yet, as the Buddha aptly pointed out, these pleasures are fleeting. They provide momentary satisfaction, but ultimately leave us hungry for more. This insatiable longing keeps us trapped in a perpetual quest for gratification, leaving us dissatisfied and suffering when those pleasures inevitably fade. Craving to be someone else. Another dimension of craving is the yearning to be someone other than who we are. In today's world of constant comparison fueled by social media, this poison runs rampant. We often desire to emulate celebrities, influencers, or even our peers, believing that their lives are superior. This craving to be someone else fosters a profound sense of inadequacy and discontent with our own lives. We forget that true contentment arises from accepting ourselves as we are, imperfections and all. Craving to eliminate discomfort. Craving also rears its head when we seek to eradicate discomfort and pain from our lives. This can lead us to extreme measures, such as turning to addictive substances or unhealthy coping mechanisms. By avoiding discomfort at all costs, we inadvertently amplify our suffering. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us that pain is an inherent part of life, and our relentless pursuit of its avoidance only prolongs our suffering. 2. Aversion. The second poison, aversion, is a potent force that often arises in response to life's challenges. Aversion is the intense dislike or even hatred towards things that challenge our beliefs or desires. When we encounter situations or individuals that clash with our expectations, aversion takes root. Hatred and conflict. Aversion can lead to hatred and conflict, both within ourselves and in our interactions with others. When we vehemently oppose people or circumstances, we generate negativity that fuels suffering. Instead of seeking understanding or resolution, we become trapped in a cycle of animosity, further entrenching our misery. Resistance to reality. Aversion also manifests as resistance to the realities of life. The Buddha's teachings emphasize the impermanence of all things, including our own existence. Yet our aversion to this fundamental truth leads us to deny or ignore it. We grasp onto fleeting moments, relationships, and possessions, mistakenly believing they can provide lasting happiness. When they inevitably change or disappear, our aversion transforms into suffering as we resist the natural flow of life. 3. ignorance. The third poison, ignorance, is perhaps the most insidious of all. It represents our deliberate ignorance of life's impermanence and the fundamental nature of reality. Ignorance obscures the truth and keeps us ensnared in the cycle of suffering. Denial of impermanence, ignorance often takes the form of denying the impermanence of all things. We cling to the illusion of permanence, believing that our possessions, relationships, and even our own existence are steadfast. This denial blinds us to the ever-changing nature of life and leads to profound disappointment and anguish when the inevitable occurs. Avoidance of truth. Ignorance also manifests as a deliberate avoidance of truth. We might choose to ignore the suffering of others or the consequences of our actions. By shielding ourselves from uncomfortable realities, we perpetuate our ignorance and the suffering that accompanies it. The Buddha's teachings on the three poisons serve as a profound reminder of the internal battles we all face. By recognizing the insidious nature of craving, aversion, and ignorance, we can begin to break free from their grip. Through mindfulness, self-awareness, and a commitment to truth, we can dismantle these poisons and move towards a life of greater peace, acceptance, and contentment. 4. Cessation of suffering is achieved by eliminating craving. Buddha's teachings offer a profound insight. The key to ending suffering lies in eliminating craving. This fundamental truth is a beacon of hope for those seeking a path to liberation from the relentless cycle of suffering that plagues human existence. To truly grasp the significance of this insight, we must delve deeper into the nature of craving and its role in perpetuating our discontent. Craving in all its forms is a pervasive force in human life. It manifests as an insatiable desire for sensory pleasures, the delectable taste of food, the intoxicating allure of material possessions, and the fleeting ecstasy of momentary gratifications. At its core, craving is the relentless pursuit of something outside ourselves to fill an inner void, a pursuit that often leads to dissatisfaction and suffering. In the quest for sensual pleasures, we constantly seek external stimuli to satiate our desires. We believe that by indulging in these pleasures, we will find lasting happiness. However, the Buddha's wisdom invites us to scrutinize this belief and recognize the impermanence of these fleeting joys. The exquisite meal we savor today, the luxurious possessions we acquire, or the passionate love we experience all are subject to change, decay, or disappearance. The very nature of the physical world is transitory, and the pursuit of these fleeting pleasures ultimately leads to frustration and disappointment. Moreover, craving extends beyond sensual desires. It encompasses the desire to be someone we're not, the yearning for a different identity that aligns with societal expectations or our own idealized self-image. This craving for an altered self often leads to inner conflict and a sense of disconnection from our authentic being. Additionally, craving is implicated in our desire to avoid discomfort and pain. We naturally seek to shield ourselves from suffering, but the relentless pursuit of comfort can, paradoxically, generate more suffering. Our resistance to pain and discomfort can amplify our distress, trapping us in a cycle of aversion and agony. Letting go of desires is not a simple task. It requires a profound shift in our perspective and a commitment to self-awareness, introspection, and understanding the intricate relationship between craving and suffering. The first step is recognizing the transient nature of all things. By acknowledging that everything in life is impermanent joy, sorrow, possessions, and even our own identities, we begin to loosen the grip of craving. Self-awareness plays a pivotal role in this process. Through mindfulness and introspection, we can observe our desires as they arise. By cultivating a non-judgmental awareness of our thoughts, emotions, and cravings, we gain insights into the patterns that drive our suffering. This awareness is the key to breaking free from the cycle of craving. Understanding the relationship between craving and suffering is the linchpin of our journey to liberation. We come to realize that craving not only perpetuates suffering, but also creates a feedback loop, intensifying our discontent. When we desire something intensely and do not attain it, we experience disappointment, frustration, and suffering. Even when we attain what we desire, the satisfaction is often short-lived, leading to renewed craving and, ultimately, more suffering. The path to eliminating craving is not one of suppression, but of profound acceptance. It is the acknowledgement that desire is a natural part of the human experience, but it need not control us. By embracing the impermanence of all things, by cultivating self-awareness, and by understanding the intricate dance between craving and suffering, we can gradually release our attachments and find freedom. The Buddha's teachings offer us a profound understanding of the relationship between craving and suffering. Craving, whether for sensual pleasures, a different identity, or the avoidance of discomfort, binds us to the cycle of discontent and sorrow. However, through self-awareness, introspection, and a deep understanding of impermanence, we can begin to loosen the grip of craving and embark on a transformative journey toward liberation from suffering. It is a path that requires patience, diligence, and inner exploration, but it leads to a state of profound peace and lasting happiness. 5. The middle way, a balanced and moderate approach to life. The middle way, the crux of Buddhist philosophy, advocates a balanced and moderate approach to life. It encourages us to transcend the extremes of excess and deprivation. Instead of indulging in endless desires or denying ourselves life's necessities, we seek a harmonious middle ground. Practicing the middle way involves cultivating wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. It's a holistic journey that brings us closer to Nirvana, the ultimate state of liberation from suffering. As we conclude our exploration of Buddha's teachings, we are left with a profound understanding of how to deal with suffering in life. The Four Noble Truths, the Three Poisons, and the Middle Way offer us a transformative path towards inner peace and lasting happiness. Embracing the reality of suffering, recognizing its causes, and working diligently to eliminate craving are the pillars of this journey. By adopting the balanced and moderate approach of the Middle Way, we can navigate life's ups and downs with grace and wisdom. In the timeless wisdom of the Buddha, we find a beacon of hope, guiding us towards a life free from the shackles of suffering. May his teachings inspire you to embark on your own path of self-discovery and enlightenment. Remember, the key to dealing with suffering lies within you, waiting to be uncovered on the journey to a more peaceful and fulfilling life.